is the regular city council meeting for Monday, July 8th, 2024. Call the meeting to order. If we'd all stand up and say the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I have roll call, please, Cheryl?
J.T. Thompson?
Yes.
Dylan Meyer?
Yep.
Adam Ryder?
Yes. Okay, number 4, approval of the agenda. Any questions or comments with anything on there? I'm assuming the building permits for the school, everything is,
Yeah, both Eric and Tim looked at them. They're basically relocating the shed to make room for the greenhouse.
okay.
So one is for the deconstruction and relocating the shed, and it's within property lines. And Tim was concerned about water line going through there, but he spoke to someone and it's good.
Okay.
And as far as the fence, Tim looked at that today and she'll be within the guidelines, and we let her know if she's using repurposed wood to make sure it's, you know. and-
Some quality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
been in communication, but she's within the guidelines as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, do we have any other questions or comments, concerns regarding anything on there? If not, I will ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second,
Second.
roll call please.
Dylan Meyer?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
J.T. Thompson?
Yes.
Okay, number 5, we can skip. So 6, again, it's the consent agenda, that's just touched on all that, so. Unless anybody has a question or concern with anything on there, I'll ask for a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Second.
roll call please.
J.T. Thompson?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Dylan Meyer?
Yes.
Okay, number 7, discuss and consider approving McNeil lot modifications. So Mark is here, and this was something we kind of touched on, I don't know, it's probably been a couple months ago now. So Mark is back with a little bit more information, and I guess just see kind of where, what do you got for us, Mark?
Well, I'll show 3 different documents. So this is currently how the west side subdivision is platted out. We've got a lot 1, a lot A that is the right of way, and lot 2. That's how we have it platted. This was the original projection of what the final plat would look like on full build out with those lot sizes. Now ignore the lot numbering system here, but this gives you a general idea. You're looking at 5 lots down one side and 5 lots on the other. What we are considering doing is to make it 4 lots down one side and 4 lots down the other. And to accomplish that, you would basically eliminate, 1 lot on each side. So if you're taking 1 lot, which is 130-foot frontage on most of these through here, divide that by 4, you're looking at roughly 30 to 33 feet that you'd be adding to each lot, starting with the first lot down here, lot 2. You can make this simple or you can make it more expensive. Right now, we would recommend right now the more simple route. We checked with the real estate and elections clerk at the Jackson County Courthouse. That's Kaylin Decker. And because it's in the city, it's their decision about whether to do a plat of survey or a subdivision. Assuming they're okay with doing a plat of survey, I would assign a parcel letter for the little 30 by 130 foot chunk there. You survey it, Origin surveys it, the city deeds it over, and then the owner of lot two would own two parcels, like say 2 and 2A. And that's kinda how this would be handled then, and, you know, we wouldn't actually plat out the rest of this right now until we get to a point where we're actually looking at designing that subdivision with a roadway through there and everything. Right now, we're not doing any design work or, you know, utility expansion, water and sewer up here or anything like that. Both of these two lots, or if, you know, if you're able to get people to build on these two lots, you're gonna tie into the water and sewer that's already on Northwest Street. And the city is not currently planning to do any sort of improvements on the lot A, until you're ready to kind of move forward with a subdivision design, basically. So, what's on the table is to just do a plat of survey to add approximately 30 by 130 feet. Now, I think that's, the size that is acceptable there. Any comments on this?
Would that add, so then the remaining lots behind it, would you just figure an extra 30 foot on each one of them then, is that?
Yeah, what I would see is, you know, you're adding 30 here, you know, basically, because we're taking out one lot, and that allows you to basically add 30 to 33 feet to each of the 4 lots that would be remaining, because 130 divided by 4 is like, you know, 32 and a half, or
Yeah.
something like that. So, we basically split that and add it to each of the remaining lots, or each of the lots that are on each side.
Okay.
And then you'd have similar sized lots so that they'd be, you know, in the same, vein of size for construction of homes in that area.
I think the idea of doing this was giving people opportunity to buy a bigger lot, right?
Yes, yes.
Higher end.
Yeah, so that was kind of the initial mindset of it to begin with, was a bigger lot equals, you know, hopefully a bigger house, you know, because it is next to the park, and that's why, you know, it was more of a price tag than it was at Harvest Heights, is because, you know, obviously bigger. So that was kind of the whole mindset from the get-go of this. And then kind of, you know, hearing about different things, you know, and going through different stuff. My concern was just that they weren't quite maybe as big as what we had originally hoped. Was kind of the thought there, was why I kind of wanted to bring it back up and revisit it.
Let's see here if we got the lot sizes, frontage on. Yeah, you're like 105 feet over there at Harvest Heights on a standard lot.
So it's gonna be about 60 feet wider then.
Yeah, 55, 60 feet wider.
I like the idea of giving people option to have a bigger lot if they want. And I think we decided that that's all gonna be for housing, right, anyways? That was kind of our thought, where your lot is down, right?
Right, yeah, that's how it was kind of.
Single family
designed.
homes.
Yeah.
Single family homes down
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah,
Yep.
I think the idea was hopefully you could sell both lots, get built out, and then take some of that money and then kind of
Right,
work down the,
right.
or to the west.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of the original idea behind it. What would it cost? What would the cost be?
Yeah,
to
so
have it
plan a
re-
survey, you know, we pretty much have the concept drawn up here, we'd have to have a survey crew come out here and set the monuments and, you know, get it filed at the courthouse and all of that, so I'm thinking, you know, $1,500, $1,500, something like that, to see the thing through.
Mhm. Cause nothing else behind it is, there's no pins or anything else in any of the rest of it, right?
These, where you see the white circles are where
Are the
pins
only
have been
ones.
set
Okay.
already, and these other, you know, monument corners too.
Yeah.
I mean, are we concerned about the loss of sale of 2 plots of land there? For
Well,
future?
I guess that's, yeah, that's,
What's the question, sorry?
Like, are we, are we concerned about, not being able to sell 2 lots, in the future?
Not, the loss of revenue of
Yeah.
having that. You can set your lot price as such that, it kind of makes up the difference there, if you haven't already considered what those lots would sell for.
Yeah, cause these lots are more expensive than. what
And that was
they-
all before I got on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Tyler bought the one lot, but what was it, 40,000?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and our thought was, it's just bigger lot, different area, and, if people wanted.
Yeah.
We hope people buy lots up there,
Mhm.
sites, but just another option.
Gotcha.
I get what you're saying, if you get rid of 2 lots and the big picture, are you losing out
Yeah.
on? Now you're selling the lots, but having houses on there and
Actually,
yeah.
Yeah, and that can always be come back up on the table too, when and if the rest of that gets, done. Nothing to say that.
Nothing set in stone that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we just agreed it was gonna be for housing.
Those prices hadn't been set or even,
got it.
I don't think.
No. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's up, it's council's, discretion how they wanna move forward with it, but, like I said, I just wanted to revisit it just so we didn't kind of repeat the same thing, twice and maybe, with lot sizes, being an issue, if they are at all, so.
So we really can't, we can approve a lot modification. Was there any input with the other 2 council members or not? Did they?
Not recently. I have heard in the past that they were, wanting to look at it and consider it. Just determining the cost of what it would, and what it would take.
Yeah.
The very last time I talked about it, everyone was in agreement, it was a good idea.
What's that, Dave?
I feel like, it's been a while since we talked about it, but
Yeah.
I feel like last time, I think everyone was pretty well in agreement that.
Yeah. I'm good with it. Adam?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I think it makes sense to, like we said, to kind of have a variety of options, size-wise, and I think with the higher price, I mean, it justifies expanding the lot a little bit more. Even if we do lose 2 lots, I mean, that is something to consider, but also, you wanna make them attractive that people are gonna want to build on them, so, I think, like Tyler said, I think some people want that bigger lot to build bigger houses, so, yeah, no issues for me.
Now, the lots over there across the road are bigger too, it kind of fits in over there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess unless there's any other discussion, I'll leave it up to council if somebody wants to make a motion to approve that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, I'm just trying to, how do you want it worded?
Maybe, make a motion to, ask Origin Design to modify the west side subdivision plat through plat of survey.
I can't remember all that.
Wait, I'm asking Cheryl to write this down.
I'm trying to.
I guess I'll make a motion to approve Origin Design to expand
Modify,
or modify,
plat of survey.
plat survey?
McNeil
McNeil plat.
subdivision,
McNeil's subdivision plat survey,
you know, to
make the lot sizes bigger
yeah, and
from
really,
the original
for
design.
the actual motion you're making right now is really to just add the approximate 30 foot by 130
For that one
foot.
lot that's
Yeah,
already been
because
sold.
we're really not doing the rest of them yet. We're showing you the concept of how it'll affect those, but that's not gonna be platted right now. We're just gonna go out and plat that extra approximate
Yeah, that'll
30 by
just-
130,
If more lots get sold, then that would just dictate down the line.
right?
So that's why I throw out, hopefully everyone understands what I'm
My word,
approving here.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
and roll call, please.
J.T. Thompson,
Yes.
Dylan Meyer,
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
Okay, number 8, Amos Street reconstruction update. And Mark, I guess, give us the goods on latest down
Yeah,
there.
so things are moving along. They started construction last week. They started at the end of DeGroat Street where the storm sewer outlets into the creek there. So they're moving along. I think they're at structure number 5. They're almost out into the intersection of DeGroat and Amos. We're feeling like maybe if they have good working days, they can get the storm sewer in by the end of the week, you know? So, things are moving along and, no issues yet, so that's a good thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no issues. From what I know of, we haven't heard any issues from residents down there, so just try to keep it that way. But,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, there's gonna be hiccups here and there, but that's just kind of,
Yeah, that's the way it goes on that, so,
okay,
no, things are going well.
good deal.
Yep.
All right.
That's it for me. Did you guys need me to stick around for any other agenda items?
I don't think so.
All right, well, everybody have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Give me this, Mark.
Okay, number 9, resolution 2024-1, discuss and consider approval of resolution 2024-1 authorizing unbudgeted transfers as required. What do you got on that sheet?
This resolution is kind of requirement based on what we did for the budget amendment. Since we levied for other benefits and the FICA and IPERS, in order to pay back the general fund, we need to approve by resolution the transfers that need to be done, which were attached in the exhibit here. So basically, we're just, for the health insurance, the 110 is the police department. So you got 112 that comes from payroll expenditures, we're putting it back into the general fund, so the general fund by the employer's share of the, cost for health insurance is putting back in, cause we levy for it. The next one is the library, and then, city administrators, so those are transfers that need to be done within our system to make the amendment work. And then we also have to do transfers to be able to, pay some debt for loans, like this sewer loan. So it's just transfers that need to be done by journal entries within our system to accomplish what the amendment was approved and does. So, just a technicality, it has to be approved by resolution.
Yeah, pretty standard practice. We've been doing this for a while, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-1 authorizing the unbudgeted transfers.
Second,
Second.
roll call, please.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
J.T. Thompson,
Yes.
Dylan Meyer.
Yes. Okay, number 10, resolution 2024-2, discuss and consider approval of Jackson County Secondary Roads Agreement for RCTP project grant award of $25,000. So, hats off to Cheryl and Tracy for getting, this was the grant we applied for, when was that, back in
It was back in May.
May? Okay. So this will go towards offsetting a little bit of the cost for the Amos Street project, which we were hoping we would get, and we did, so.
Yeah, that, the 25,000 is the full maximum amount that you can get from this grant. We did rank, it was in your packet, but, Bellevue, Lamont, Miles, and Preston all, applied. We ranked first and received the full 25, Lamont ranked second, they received 21,679. And Bellevue got 23,000 for their, resurfacing, and ADA crossing, so. We were happy to receive that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Okay, we don't need to, do we need to approve that resolution then?
We do, that's
Okay.
just, and the resolution, just says that the city council approves entering the agreement for the grant itself
Okay.
with the county.
Perfect. Okay, does anybody have any other questions, anything on that, or discussion? Yeah, very good news, so, okay, I will ask for a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-2, approving a agreement with Jackson County Secondary Roads for the RCTP project, grant award of $25,000.
Okay, second? Second. And roll call, please.
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.
Adam Ryder.
Yes.
J.T. Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, 11, discuss and consider approval of downtown incentive grant award for Alex Heinrichsen and Preston Family Chiropractic. So this was something, I guess Cheryl can touch on it too, but we've kind of, with wanting to help new businesses start, we have this downtown incentive program, which is available for not just new businesses, but for, there's all kinds of options there, for our downtown businesses to take advantage of. But it's just to help, I guess he's kind of looking at it just to kind of help him get, kind of get his feet on the ground a little bit. This is money that comes out of our TIF account, which, we typically need to spend out of there anyway. So, he's got, you'll see the application, he's kinda got stuff listed of what he's looking at doing. Right, he's asking for the full 7,500.
Yeah, he's actually applying through the, commercial interior program, which that program, the overall program, enables the city to fund up to a third of the cost for renovations, et cetera, for the, even though, so he needs to have some electrical upgrades done and, some minimal modifications of walls for a total of 3,000. But he also has quite the list of very expensive equipment that's needed to actually be able to start up his business. So he listed those as well. So even the full asking price may be outside the commercial interior program itself. The city has discretion under the TIF urban renewal plan to offer assistance for other projects that are approved by council and city staff, so. We emailed by the committee members and got input. Committee members include myself, Kelly Brown, Adam Ryder, and Brenda Kunow. The committee is in agreement with awarding the full asking price of $7,500 to assist Alex with some of the smaller things on the equipment list, along with the modifications for the interior program. we've done this in the past for other applicants where it may be outside the actual realm of the program itself, but since it is allowed still under our TIF plan, we can, pay out of there if we choose to. Feel it's a reasonable ask to get a new business started up in town. And it also utilizes the city's incubator building, which may sit vacant otherwise, and who knows what it's gonna bring to Preston, may bring, people to Preston, and so our recommendation to council would be to approve the full asking amount.
Yeah, I guess it just, I guess it just kind of shows the city's commitment to helping new businesses start, with trying to help as much as we possibly can. This kind of falls in line with everything, like Cheryl said, that we've kind of been doing lately in the past with trying to help new businesses get started in town, so, I think it shows good faith on our end, to be as helpful as we can, within our guidelines, so. I know the committee looks at everything pretty thoroughly, and that's what they're there for, so. Anybody have any questions, or Adam, if you wanna?
No, I think
Talk
Cheryl
about
kind
all-
of hit all my points. I mean, I thought it seemed like a reasonable ask. I mean, like the electrical work that they're doing, it's gonna be in a city building, so I mean, that's gonna remain there either way, so, I don't know. I thought, given the scope of the work they're looking to do, I thought it seemed reasonable.
Yeah, I'm good with it, thanks, good thing.
I'll make a motion to approve the downtown incentive grant for full asking price awarded to Alex Heinrichsen of Preston Family Chiropractic.
Second?
Roll call, please.
J.T. Thompson?
Yes.
Dylan Meyer?
Yes.
Adam Ryder?
Yes.
Okay, 12, TextMyGov, discussion and possible approval of implementation of text alert service.
Text us or met us for meetings?
Well, I was just approached by, this courtesy call, people trying to sell their, and, I said, well, sure, I'll agree to sitting down and listening to your program, and he did it over Zoom, was very good, and basically what it is, it's a texting service that the citizens would, they use the postal service as a third party to get a database, and based on their, history, they've been able to, they get it in an Excel file. They've been able to get anywhere between 70 to 85% of the households. It's based on the city's zip code, so they wouldn't work with our local post office, because I'm sure they don't have everybody's cell numbers, but they do have access, and they purchase this database through the postal service, and it costs $2,000 a year, and you need to sign a 3-year contract, because the database is quite expensive. They really don't see any return till at least year 3. But it just this database automatically signs people up, and then if people wanna opt out, they just simply text stop, and they won't get notifications anymore. We can also, I think, send them, add numbers to the database as needed. We could use a mapping tool within this system that can pinpoint, say there's a water main break, you don't need to notify everyone in town with a cell phone, but you can pinpoint the areas that need alerts. Yeah, it does, I don't know, it's a one-time setup fee of $500. There's a widget that stays on our website that has to be there for 3 years. It's just something I just wanted to add, since I did get the information out and see if that's something the council thought would be worth implementing for a service we provide. Because other than Facebook, we really don't have a lot,
Right. Yeah, we're kind of still old school that way. It's either kind of mailers and utility bills or
Yeah.
Facebook. It's kind
You
of-
can send out messages to whoever you guys want.
Like if you didn't pay your bill, we could text you that, you know, the bills are due. We could use it for that too.
We
or
could use it for like anybody past due payment
past due
reminders,
payment
and
reminders or
just a variety of things, once you get the hang of what you can all use it for, and what's helpful and what's not, and
I guess if you know, for weather, hey, you know, moving
yeah.
cars off the street, you know.
And there's other texting services too. I did reach out to DeWitt because on ClerkNet, people respond on what service they use or whatever.
Mhm.
And City DeWitt used this one. Their biggest complaint was that they couldn't get a lot of people to sign up. Well, I think TextMeGov figured that out, it was a problem. So that's where they, put in this new level, where you don't have to solicit people to sign up.
Right.
They just automatically signed up.
Gotcha. So basically whatever number we have on file, or the post office.
The postal service
Has on
somehow,
file, then it's already.
based on zip code, I guess,
Okay.
yeah.
But then you can add to that if,
I think we can add to it as, yeah, if needed, or.
So the widget that you would put on the website, did they say would that give people the option to, like if their contact info is incorrect, or, you know, like they could go and submit that or change that, or?
There's
how-
a way that they can actually say there's a pothole, or they wanna, they notice there's an electrical outage. They can text alerts to the system, and there'll be automated responses. Think that might have something to do with what the widget's for, but
Okay, so that would be more for them communicating back
Back
to
to
the
the
city, yeah.
mhm.
And I'm assuming that if their phone number was incorrect, they just have to reach out to either of you and then you can update it.
Yeah, and he's supposed to give me, we're gonna have another meeting to see how your input is, or if we had any questions, and I can ask a few more questions before we make a final decision. If you think of anything we need, I mean, Adam, you're good in those kind of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the cost seems reasonable. I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience with this type of service, but I'm familiar enough that it seems.
it's what the school has, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. that's
Different
what I think
vendor.
Which I gotta get
but
my
it's
number
just
off
a-
that
A different vendor.
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause
But
I'm
yeah,
pretty
that's-
sure
that-
they use JMC for
Yeah.
theirs,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, theirs is probably a bigger package than what we would.
Well, that's a good point. A lot of the school information we get, it's kind of all driven from that.
It's the fast.
It's a good tool.
Right.
Way to get mass information out quick, yeah. And I like too that you can modify it, you know, if you don't need to text the whole
The whole town.
thing, you know, you can.
Or everybody in our
pinpoint-
zip code, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right, I like that's an option.
It's probably a lot
Like if
of,
we're flushing fire hydrants on Davis Street, just the Davis Street people
Right.
will
Right.
get the text,
Right.
you know.
Man, you could use it for all kinds of stuff.
you could, and it takes time to do that. It
Mhm.
takes time to even just do simple Facebook posts, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something we're gonna have to really kinda,
Yeah, Facebook probably doesn't reach as many people.
No.
Is what
Not
they say.
Not-
anymore,
no.
yeah.
no.
Boy, I'm always, time I get on it, 2 weeks.
It's old news.
Boy, I missed someone's birthday or something, you know.
I like it, I like the idea.
I'm for it if you
Yeah.
guys think you're gonna use it.
Hopefully it doesn't open up a can of worms for people just randomly texting in about.
And when I talked with the Duet, I said, how many complaints, how many people just abuse it and just constantly
Mhm.
firing questions back? Because you can stop that,
Perfect.
stop that part of it, but it becomes
Yeah.
overbearing, or
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
they said, we don't use that part anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be something good to put out there if it does get abused, then you can,
Right.
yeah,
So you don't wanna
revisit
spend your
that.
whole day
We don't
answering
wanna
those
know every time
messages.
somebody's dog's barking, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, and it's a three-year commitment, and after that, you can reevaluate.
So anyone can call in on this number and put a
It's
text
just a
out?
texting thing.
Not, they can contact us, it'll just go to the city.
It doesn't call anything, it's just a text alert, and there's an automatic response. We don't respond to it. There's automated responses.
It'd probably just come in like an instant message, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
it just says, thanks for contacting us, blah, 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 blah.
And then where would you see these people?
I don't know.
know
I think it's an app, like on
Gotcha.
a computer.
I see.
Like
That's
that,
what he said.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that something you would use, Chad, do you think?
I'd rather
Like
not.
move your car?
I'd rather
I'm just
not.
trying to think what, you know,
I'd rather not use it, I don't want people to call Austin and have, you need to report something, because then it's addressed right away, not next business day, or next time one of us is on.
yeah, I guess I mean more for just like informational stuff.
Like alerts or maybe,
Well, that's not to say like, you know, if you had something you wanted to push out, you know, like, say it's parade day or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Hey, please move out your car.
Right, that's what I was kinda thinking.
nothing, you know, like,
Yeah, that'd be alright.
you know,
Yeah.
Hey, reminder, we're gonna get 5 inches of snow, move, you know,
Yeah.
move your cars, you know, just try to get compliance, cause they never get moved. But
Yeah,
that's what
Yeah.
we
I
can,
get it, yeah.
you know, maybe stuff like that.
I'm all for it, I mean, there's gonna be things that you use it for and you wish you wouldn't have, and there's gonna be things like, oh, well, shoot, we probably could've used it for that, but you don't know until you don't know, so.
Right.
yeah,
I
it'll
think
be
it's-
kind of trial and error at first.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you get a flood warning at 2 o'clock in the morning, it wakes you up, cause that's how, you know.
If we have flooding in town, you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
gonna take over the Amber Alerts or the
The
weather.
emergency
Right.
supervisor.
Yeah, there's definitely a fine line between providing good information and then
Right.
providing too much info, so,
Right.
like you
That's
said, I'm
not-
sure it'll be kind of, you'll kind of figure it out as you go.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, I'm,
If you guys wanna mess with it, go right ahead.
yeah, I'm not against it at all, I think it could be a handy thing, so.
I don't know, Tracy, are we up for it?
Yeah, so I mean, it's more on you guys, I guess, than it is us, but yeah, if you guys, if it's something.
Let's get a few more questions answered first.
Yeah,
I've got no issues, I guess my only question, you know, what the two Matts would have to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can table it there until
What
next
would be-
meeting too. He didn't, I mean, it's not,
it's not urgent.
Yeah.
you know.
okay, yeah, let's table, it. We can talk about it again next meeting when, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm for it, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see any issue with it at all, so.
Maybe we'll get a little more clarification too on some of the things.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, 13, Ollie's Car Show, discuss and consider requested approval of the plan. I don't know, they've been having this for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, probably.
And the reason it's kind of came up is because Ollie's questioned us about having a bouncy house down there, and since it's on city property and the liability concerns.
Insurance-wise.
And, you know, I just directed it to Norm, and, they had been discussing it with Scott. So they quoted him an event policy so he could take out his own liability. And, they're gonna be offering that at not much of cost, so that way we can approve it, have the event, we give them our blessing, they will have the liability
Okay.
coverage if needed.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, it's kinda like buying hole-in-one insurance policy, you
Yeah.
know, somebody gets a hole-in-one,
Yeah.
it's there,
Yeah,
so, yeah. So they just thought it would be nice to get council's blessing on,
yeah,
and explaining that that's where they're coming from.
no, I think it's a good thing for the community and,
You know,
Yeah.
brings a lot of people to town.
yeah. Yep. No concerns from you, Chad, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, everybody's in agreement, I think,
Yeah,
absolutely.
We just have to shut down
you gotta shut down the road, barricade.
Yeah.
And it is August 3rd.
August 3rd, okay.
Do you need a motion for that?
Okay, 14 then, the Easton Valley Golf Outing sponsorship, discuss and consider approval of $100 for the sponsor. Yeah, we've been doing this for the last number of years also, and it's.
Yeah, we typically have so much money for community, for school, through our WPPI membership program. And we've been given $100 for quite a few years on that.
Yep. last one, 15, ordinance enforcement. Discuss prioritizing ordinances that need to be addressed and enforced. So this is something we've kind of talked about, I don't know, kind of since Chad came on board, we've kind of talked about it, but there was always kind of other irons in the fire we wanted kind of to get put out first, before we jumped on this, so, I guess what's kind of, to give, and Chad, jump in whenever you feel free. I guess what's kind of everybody's, I don't know, top two, top three, like, you know, just going around town, you know, what do you see?
Did you get Matt's email?
I did, I'm looking for it.
I guess I'd just like to start off with the basic stuff, you know, the grass and the weeds and then.
Yeah, that was one that I put down, was lawns being mowed and
We have-
trimmed.
We have a process for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I guess, are you looking for, I mean, obviously, I think that one's pretty well known, we've talked about that one for,
yeah, the city guys, they have,
yeah,
the tags, if they see one, they tag the door. If they go back and see that it's not mowed, then they contact me and I take care of it.
okay, perfect,
And then we'll do the same with sidewalks and snow,
yeah.
so.
okay. I think the next step is maybe like the junk in the
Yeah, I
yards.
completely
and
agree,
kind
the
of,
junk vehicles, not only that, but, you know, ones that maybe sit along the street for weeks. You seem like you've got some reservations about that.
No, I don't. You know, it's just,
You wanna do that on a complaint basis?
those things are a little bit better and easier to address on a complaint by complaint basis. Cause you don't know who's moved what, maybe they moved and parked in the same exact spot, and now are we gonna get out and start chalking tires and, you know.
Can't chalk
something
tires.
moved I like that as a complaint basis.
What do you mean by that?
Like if somebody calls and says, hey, so-and-so hasn't moved his vehicle, and so,
You guys can be the
okay,
complainers.
we'll put a 48-hour tag on it. If it doesn't move, we'll contact him and say, hey, listen, you gotta move it, or we're gonna tow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that top, definitely.
And, you know,
Yeah,
Where
so
you-
if you got a complaint, anybody, so anybody can.
because, you know, you got 48 hours, you can park a vehicle for 48 hours. I can't remember which ordinance. You know, 49 hours, are we gonna start taking?
Right.
So just like to handle that as a complaint, or if it's something that we notice that, boy, that thing's leaking oil, and, you know, it's been in the street for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that before, we're doing that already, so.
Yeah.
I just encourage the citizens, if they see something, call, and you guys will,
Yeah.
police department will address it. But I agree.
So I do have one I'm working with, I'm getting it taken care of, so.
I guess I'm not as concerned about this stuff like sitting in the street so much. Yeah, I think for the most part, if it's in the street, it's, you know, it's being moved. I guess to me, it's the stuff that's in the yards.
Yes.
You know, that is obviously there, has been there, and,
Blocks.
yeah, it's on blocks, or it's been there for 10 years and it hasn't been touched, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
You know, maybe we need to start, and I don't know, you change, I guess you,
And what is the process, I mean, it's
What's-
obviously private property, but what is the process for?
yeah, and we gotta, that's, you know, that's a fine line there, what's enforceable and, you know, that, you know.
All that comes down to how your ordinance is written.
Right.
I just emailed, Chief Nixon from Seville, cause I know he's done a lot of abatements. And I just, to get his form and see what his process is. Yeah, that's just something that we need to look at, whether we're gonna send a letter out and then go knock on a door, or are we gonna be in an abatement process, which, in my experience, that's kinda like where the city is judge, jury, executioner type thing, where
Right.
if they don't move it, are we gonna enter onto somebody's property and actually tow their vehicle on their private property? I think you start to get into a little bit of Fourth Amendment stuff there. And I know Lynn Schwager had, some concerns with that up in Bellevue when he was the chief there, well, they weren't doing that, and
Yeah.
so.
We just fine them up in Macokota, and then they have to go fight on like our municipal infractions, and then once you get so far, then they'll actually take them to court, and then we'll make a judge rule that they have to, it's a process, I mean, it doesn't get,
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, when it comes to municipal infractions, that administrative citation that we approve, that's fine and dandy. The due process side of that is a municipal infraction. However, when we get our city attorney involved, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
We blew our entire legal line item in 2 cases this year. And actually it was about, 300% over
Oh, yeah.
on 2 cases. So, if we start, going through the municipal infraction process on 8 cars, it's gonna be a lot of money to Lynch Dallas.
Right.
And, we can find them the ordinance violations, whether they pay it or not. If they don't pay it, then it goes to the municipal infraction process, is the kind of the due process side of that. And we're right back to where we were. We just keep sending them a ticket, I'm not sure on the, the process of like assessing somebody's taxes, I don't know how that works. Could you do that, based on, just,
The cost.
they're not paying the fines, and we don't wanna go through a municipal infraction,
What else
and we just go right to assessing it on their taxes, can we do that? I don't.
Fines you can.
Fines, okay, okay, well, there we go.
Yeah.
If, that's great, then we can just say, hey.
Maybe that's step 4, step 1's 50, 100, whatever the numbers.
Yeah, on the third, yeah, cause it is, it's
Then
50,
step-
100, 150, and after that, on the
Step
fourth,
4 sits on the,
goes to the taxes.
yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we stay away from that municipal infraction. There might be a case or two where we have to do that, depending on if somebody gets somebody that's really
Yeah.
fighting things, so there's always a possibility of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully not, but we wanna keep that in mind. So I'm not sure if I can't remember if we raised our court fees this year, or, city attorney bill line or not. It's like 3,000 or 1,000, I think. Anyway,
Have it in front of you.
I know something was brought up too, I don't know where down the line was, maybe in the spring and fall, having like, city providing couple big dumpsters and maybe a metal, we could throw metal in their dumpster. That way you have, if you provide that, it gives these people opportunity to get rid of that stuff, right?
I think, was it Matt that brought it up last meeting or whatever? Were you here at the last meeting?
yeah, about the dumpsters?
Yeah, bringing in dumpsters, so, like, hey, we're gonna bring in a dumpster for this week, here, bring your trash to here, so that way, because some people don't have the means of taking it to, to the county dump up in Angel or whatever, it's just,
Yeah.
I think that renting one of those is rather minimal cost for, I think, what it could get used to clean up some of the town.
Yeah.
That was an idea, cause then you get the citizens, people that have this stuff, hey, I can just take it down here,
Right.
throw it away,
Right.
or,
There's no questions asked or whatever, as long as it's.
Yeah.
that was an idea too.
Yeah, it's an option.
That looks a lot better when like, hey, you had the option to,
Yes.
Just-
Right.
Right.
take the stuff and get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
One thing Matt did have on his list was, number 1 was the dilapidated homes and outbuildings.
That was gonna be
Yes.
my next topic too, was, what do you do? Do you, like, bigger cities have an inspector, obviously, and they go around and they're basically the ones that say, this isn't meeting code, this blah, blah, blah.
Well, I think if you get into houses and buildings, I think that's, not that the police department can't do some of that, but I think that's a little bit out of their scope.
Yeah, I was just thinking, you guys have Brad Crandon,
Yeah.
right? Does he have any specialized training, or
Yeah, he's doing online training. He's
would
got
the
all-
city maybe entertain and having a 2080 agreement with Macokota to use him in situations like that?
Cause we're dealing with some of them too right now.
Yeah, that's
Just
just.
people that, they got a hole in the roof, they won't fix it, well, that's,
So how does that work in Macokota? I mean, does somebody report it, or how,
yeah, it
what
gets reported,
initiates
but
it?
I guess the police department don't deal with all that, it's our building inspector or code.
So it goes through City Hall.
That
and they
goes through
contact
City Hall,
Brad.
that's something like the police I guess I feel that, yeah, I'm for that stuff, so we got some houses and property, but I don't think that should be thrown on the police department. That's,
We'll
saying
help,
they can't help out, but,
we'll help deliver, you know, any abatement notice or anything like that.
As far as like inspecting it and that kind of stuff.
yeah, I
It's
just
not
think,
Something to look into if we can
Yeah.
find a guy, or maybe the fire department has a guy that would be interested in it, you know, hey,
Right.
let's look
hire
at it.
someone part, yeah, I would like to look into something like that.
Yeah.
I would too, because how do you, yeah, I mean, how do you pick and choose and who
That's just it.
has the final say in it, you know, and all that good stuff, you know, that.
If we're serious about doing that, maybe we really need to look into hiring someone part-time or something to just deal
Code
with that.
inspection, code
Right,
enforcement, where they can
right.
write parking tickets or,
Yeah.
Yeah, anything.
I just don't know, I don't have enough background in the,
Yeah, well, I don't disagree at all with JT, and, you know, that's a lot.
I mean, if there's some training out there that, you know,
Yeah.
we'll give it, we'll have Adam go.
I don't know. I'd rather have to drive around stop cars than go
Yeah.
knock on a.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Figure
it's
out
all
how
good
else
stuff
that's-
and it needs to be addressed, cause I think
Yeah.
it's been overlooked for a long time. But I think it's, you know, I think it's a good thing to maybe try to find the right
Yeah, I think
avenue.
that should be, I think that should be number one.
Yeah, I do too, I don't disagree.
Yeah, maybe that's
I don't
something that person could help out with, the junk in the yard and stuff too, you know, maybe that person we would hire, or maybe they have a different system, I don't know. I think some of these questions we can't answer, we need somebody that's,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are all good too, but I also think we probably need to focus on the items that we can handle in-house now with the personnel we have,
Yeah.
not necessarily start off by like, you know, we've gotta hire somebody or enter into agreements, I mean, you know, what can we take care of now?
If you get into like a combination of like a house, I think you're probably getting your city attorney involved, I would guess.
Yeah,
You know, cause there's probably some regulations and criteria that they have to meet, and then, you know, I don't know.
Your house is your castle, it's a little different than.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, or even a business that maybe, or outbuilding, shed, garage, whatever.
Well, we do
Yeah,
have
I'm-
ordinances on vacant buildings, but I mean,
Right.
who enforces them? I mean, what?
Right. And I don't disagree with you, Chad, too, but then there's also codes, you know, and that through stuff through the state even, you know, for a reason, you know, so if you're not meeting, you know, unless it falls under a certain, you know, a certain category for whatever reason, you know, we think, especially if it's inhabited, it's gotta meet a certain, it's gotta be up to code, you know, to a certain extent.
Sounds like an expensive phone call to the attorney.
right,
I do agree with that, and though, I think, right now, I think we should focus on.
But if there's certain codes, you know, if there's
Yeah.
certain things written in the code about what can or can't, you know, happen at a house, at a residence, then I think we should be able to enforce them with what we have today.
Yeah, how are we gonna
right,
force it?
but I think,
Yeah.
and I think that's something, you know, we address over time, like I
Yes.
said, I'm just looking at initially, you know, what can we do now without, like you said, having to get attorneys involved in a bunch of things, and
Yeah, some of this stuff we can do, I'd just like to come up, and give you a little time to come up with like a process.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
tell you guys, make sure you're good with it, and then we'll maybe.
What else did Matt have on his list?
A lot of the things you already talked about, vehicles with no license, trailers parked in the road, time limited, hooked to a vehicle, lawns not mowed, non-licensed trailers in driveways and yards, dead trees, brush piles, overhanging trees, vehicles parked the wrong way on the street, sidewalks, I mean, those are just some of the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the tree stuff, you know, we're.
That was one that I thought about too, like making like a minimum height restriction, like there are a few trees around town on a sidewalk that I've kinda gotta,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's the process there?
Yeah.
I mean, do you,
right.
Depends where the tree's at, if there's a tree out.
that's the thing, it depends
Well,
on what
yeah,
side of the
that's
sidewalk
true.
it's on, I get that, but if it's,
right.
Is it on city property, or is it on?
Are there any of those around that you know of that people have mentioned to City Hall, or any, you guys?
we don't ever really hear the complaints, you know.
Well, when we get this texting app.
yeah, no kidding.
Your tree line is too far.
I can imagine that's gonna get shut off.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna get turned on.
And then pass those on to the tree committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't even include it in the software.
I can't think of anything right now that sticks out, but I'm sure, I know there is stuff around.
You start picking on people and their property, just give you a heads up, they will start picking on other people and the
Oh,
city
yeah.
stuff.
Exactly, that's,
So the city
Yeah.
matter, but needs to make sure they have all their ducks in a row, 'cause as soon as you start
Yeah.
bothering.
once you handle it one way with one person, you gotta handle it
They're
that
gonna go
way,
around and look for.
you know.
They will look for every city,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, just give you a heads up.
Oh, I figured, I've been here before.
Yeah, that's,
Right.
you get that all the time.
Yeah.
So fair is fair, right?
Yeah, I'll do whatever you guys direct me to do, and, you know, some of the stuff we can take care of now, and,
Yeah, I just like
keep
to
a
see
little
you work on
tighter-
it when you have time.
tighter grip on things like the parking but, you know, going around and with junk vehicles, like new cars, I know there, I have a list of them started, but I don't know if that's all of them yet, you know, I haven't
Yeah,
scoured the alleys yet, really.
Yeah.
Really dug deep, but I'm sure there's a few out there, and
Oh, yeah, this is not an overnight process.
No, it's
Right.
not.
and if you have ideas too, Chad, I mean, things like.
And say, what do you think are top of your list
Right.
for things that you would like to see?
The most
change?
achievable right now.
well. I mean, you know, the thing that strikes me right away is like the yards, that type of stuff. A bunch of brush piles sitting at the curb or up against somebody's house, that type of stuff. There's really no reason that you can't mow your grass or you can't take, cause isn't there don't we do like stick pickup every
Yeah, I
couple
know.
times? So I mean, there's no reason that, you know, that stuff can't get out of there.
I agree with that.
You know, trailers parked in the roadways, yeah, okay, there's a few campers. Again, some of these streets are not busy,
Right.
so,
Right.
you know, you
Yeah.
got a dead end with no traffic.
Right.
You know, technically it's a street, are we gonna, you know, do you wanna get involved in, you know, saying, it's up to you, whatever you guys want me to do, we'll do, but,
Yeah.
I guess I just don't know where the line is.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you just do everything, you get a camper, trailer parked on a side street somewhere that doesn't get a lot of traffic, it's still on the city street, you got it.
You
And,
complain on somebody that does have one on a busy street, and then they're gonna go around looking for that
Right,
dead end.
that's that's
Yeah.
exactly it, Cheryl.
Yeah.
So I think if you guys
But that's
are gonna do
complaint
one, you
based
guys
a
do
lot of
one.
extra officers out there.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I agree 100%.
I could come up with, you know, looking at Matt's list and just looking at some of the stuff that we've seen, I can come up with, some things and a plan on how to deal with it and throw it by you guys, that's good. In the meantime, if you guys have anything, just something pops out.
Yeah, and even I think like the tree thing, you know, if it is in city right away, you know, I'm not opposed to, you know, putting a hanger on the door and saying, hey, you know, please trim the tree, you know, in
Yeah.
Mhm.
30 days or whatever, you know, like
Or
just.
Kansas City guy go cut it. That's how.
They can if it's
They
overhanging
can if
the
it's in
street.
between.
Is there any issue right now with any trees like in the electric, like the lines, or anything, is there anything? I guess I'd ask the city guy to check that.
Yeah, Ray Ken keeps
Okay,
a list on those, and
cause they're gonna know more about tree stuff and.
Right.
than I
Yeah.
So we can work together on that, I think.
and they have in the past done the ones that overhang the street and work on those, I'm sure that's, with all the rain, everything got heavy and grew, and
Hand mowing every other day.
so, yeah, that can be addressed.
Yeah,
As
I
far as,
guess,
you know, they should, I would say that's a complaint thing, you know, if there's someone complains, but.
right,
A complaint basis, like,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
see it, it comes in the city hall.
Try to be nice, ask them to.
We go look at it, yep, that needs to get trimmed, give them a notice.
right,
Instead of trying to canvass the entire city,
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
you know,
right,
that would be easier.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think it's a good start, and you know what, I mean, when it comes to like the house and stuff, at some point, you know, like, stuff's gotta start getting addressed too. So I get it, like, you know, I think, like, I totally agree, we start with what we can handle, but I don't think we quit the conversation either.
Oh,
on
No,
that stuff,
absolutely not.
You know, and try to figure out what we can do on that end too.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
Right, that's the way I'm looking at it. I mean,
Yeah.
start with what you can do and then build from there.
Yeah, so I guess, you know, JT or Chad, I guess, if you wanna talk to that Brad guy from Macokota.
He's on vacation this week, but I'll talk to him.
Yeah, just see what he has to say about it.
I can see him all the time.
And-
Yeah, I like that
I think
idea.
I think we're supposed to look
2080
into the 2080 agreement, like, hey, for whatever, 5 hours a month, whatever it needs to be,
Yeah.
just
Come down
You
here
do
and
it.
check.
check out a few
Send info on
houses,
how to
like,
get
here's
that.
here's a list of
Yeah.
houses we're gonna check out, figure out what we can do.
Yeah, or maybe he knows of a
A
a
better
company
system.
or,
Just
you know,
have a-
whatever.
we need to at least have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly,
I
yeah.
like that idea.
Yep.
And we have the same, you know, attorneys,
Yeah.
so if we already have the information out there, why, you know, if he's already called the
Yeah, why
attorney, the same
reinvent the wheel?
attorney.
Yeah.
The ordinances might be a little different, but, yeah,
Yeah.
so he might be able to, I'll talk to him, see if he can guide us in the right direction.
Let's put this back on, is that okay? Should we put this back on the agenda for
I don't
next
care if it's on the
meeting?
agenda every time.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
always keep it on the agenda.
Keep it another business and
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so,
kind of catch up where we're at.
yeah, I like that,
Yeah, just,
yeah, I think it's a good thing to
And
say.
I can give, once we start to proceed, we can give a kind of a report on, hey, we cited 3 cars, sent 2 letters out. You know, the parking, that's gonna be an ongoing thing, it's not gonna stop by giving somebody a ticket or a notice, or, it's gonna be kind of ongoing. Just gotta, and you know, a lot of people are, whoa, I've done this for, parked the wrong way against, like this for 10 years, and it's never been a problem. So-
I think you could put a lot of that back on the council though, cause you're getting directed by the council.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The 2 max.
Yeah.
Especially those 2 over there.
I've already come up with like a canned speech, you know, like, we're not we're all together,
Yeah.
and together. If you guys get the complaints at City Hall, or you individually, or
Yeah,
me, or, yeah, we're all gonna
Yep.
you're gonna get a little bit of it, but it is what it is.
Well, hopefully just people start hearing that, you start dealing with it.
I think-
Be compliance
Yeah.
on them.
I think that, you know, getting, whatever we decide to do, get it out on Facebook, city, and then we started going on the police
Texting.
department side, and get that notice, maybe give it a week, and then see if anything's changed. And then kinda dig into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Give them a heads up that we're gonna start.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You have a vehicle that has been unlicensed in your driveway or yard or whatever, that's not within code, you're gonna need to remedy that, whether you update the plates, which I need to check our ordinance, cause I don't know if you can just put regular tags on it and call it good, or if if it's inoperable, I need to.
I think it's in that, yeah.
Double check all that, so I was going through some of it, and it's a lot.
yeah, that's the biggest thing too, is it's gotta be enforceable, is 100%,
You know,
the biggest issue, so.
I'm all on board keeping it on the agenda for.
Yeah, yep, I think, I like that, let's just keep it another business and then kinda keep a running tab on, you know, what's kinda going on, and stuff like that, so.
Sounds good.
Okay. Alright. Okay, so speaking of other business, let's jump down to that, the farmer's market location update. What do you have on that, Cheryl?
The Farmers Market Committee consisted of Megan Driscoll, Nancy, myself, a couple others. They developed they're trying to go by a program that they got from Amanda DuPont, outlining how to start up a farmer's market, and they don't anticipate it to begin this year. And just by judging by the input from other cities and meetings that they've had, their initial goal of starting it small uptown and eventually growing to the park, they decided they're just gonna wanna just start it off at the park and,
Okay.
you know, have it, cause they get a year to plan it, they're gonna, you know, be in contact with many vendors by then and try to have it more into place than just kinda trial and error.
Yeah,
So they're developing it as into a bigger program.
okay.
And they just wanted to just kind of give us, ask for our blessings, you know, to go ahead and
Do that.
proceed down there and.
Yeah.
I
Do
think
they have
It's
any
good,
ideas?
otherwise, I think you just open yourself up for confusion. First year
Probably.
that it,
Yeah,
where is it, you know?
yeah,
Yeah, that's where it always was before.
Yeah,
right.
it just makes sense. that
Well, I
they're-
feel like there's a lot more space. I feel like if you get 5 people here on a Saturday morning or something, or Saturday afternoon, all of a sudden
It's gonna get
it's
congested.
really
Yeah.
congested and.
And at one point Jamie said that she would, you know, be willing to have their property set up vendors, even if they, farmer's market, but she's decided now, she just don't have time, you know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's a lot to keep track of the vendors themselves and what they all requirements and stuff for
Yeah.
even having farmer's markets, so.
Okay.
I just wanted to update you guys and let them know that that's their intentions, if you didn't have any objections, that's what they're.
Well, that sounds good to me. All right, Jay, you got anything?
We got that 2080 agreement all signed with the school. I'm gonna take that up tomorrow. Is that still?
Yeah, that's in your stuff to sign the
Okay.
agreement, and then what, we've got a check cut to have it recorded, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to record it with the recorder and the Secretary of State, so we'll figure out how to do that exactly
Gotcha.
and take care of, so.
Good, we're on the right track there.
No, there's a meeting in Miles on Wednesday, so I'm gonna attend that again, so
Okay.
they've had a chance to look at the information that I sent them, and you guys have seen, so. We'll report back on that.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, anybody else have anything? All right, now we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Adam Ryder,
Yes.
J.T. Thompson,
Yes.
Dylan Meyer.
Yes.